Hi everyone, Maru-Chan here. Thanks for watching What Spirits Tokyo. I've been really happy to be reading your comments and looking at that you liked the episodes that have been released. I hope you liked my 3 episodes that I've learned previously from my Singapore trip. This episode that I'm taking today will be the final episode of the Singapore trip. I have 2 amazing groups of people that I would like to introduce to you. So first, it's the 2 ladies from the TikTok Bells, Stephanie and Deborah. They're amazing watch collectors, but also wonderful watch enthusiasts. I cannot thank enough Deborah and Stephanie because my trip to Singapore was decided super last minute, so I had to ask for the interview all of a sudden, but they were really nice about it. So I hope those 2 ladies will keep inspiring like the female watch collectors and the watch lovers all over the world. Thank you for watching What Spirits Tokyo. This afternoon, I'm here with these 2 beautiful ladies, Stephanie and Deborah.
Hi!
So they're working as a duo called TikTok Bells, and then you guys started working together in 2022.
Yes.
I heard. I really want my viewers to know more about you. So can you give a short introduction about you and your duo?
Hi, I'm Deborah. I am working in the IT industry for the last 20 years. And
I'm Stephanie. I'm a teacher by profession, and Deborah and I met as bag friends first. So we love Hermes bags, and that's how we got in touch with each other.
Oh, yes. And then how did you find out that you both love watches?
I think it's more Stephanie, and I think she loves watches since she was really, really young. And I think for myself, she has been a very big influence for me in my watch collecting journey, but I will let her speak about her watch journey.
Please go ahead.
So for myself, I like watches since young.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was 5 years old, that's my first watch.
Oh,
Yeah, from my father, which
wow.
I still have it today.
That's really heartwarming.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
And that probably sparked my love for watches.
Wow,
And,
such an early age.
Ever since I'm like a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
I have quite a few quartz watches, but they are no longer with me because they are quartz and the battery died, and I didn't think about keeping them at that time. Yeah, then when I went to the university, I bought a lot of Swatch watches, and
Very
when
cute.
I started working, I bought my first serious watch, which was a Rolex Datejust.
Great choice.
I think a lot of people treat Rolex as like an heirloom to be passed down to the next
Right.
generation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Rolex, the quality of the watch, I mean, you can't compare it to like fine watchmaking, but as like a mass-produced watch, they are actually very good in the quality control.
I agree.
Yeah, because I take my Rolex for diving.
Oh,
Yeah.
you do diving too.
I do diving, yes. And I wear my Rolex, my Submariner, and whatever that allows me to dive. If they say that it's a dive watch, I'll just wear it.
Oh,
Yeah.
so like a Blancpain
Yeah.
or...
But my favorite is still Rolex because like when I suit up, wear my tank and I just put my arm through, I don't worry about hitting the watch against the tank. Yeah,
that's
because
true.
the watch is actually very hardy.
Mhm.
It's a knockabout watch. It's a tool watch.
Yeah,
So
sure.
it should be worn like that, not like kept in the safe. So precious. I mean, everybody's personal preference as to how they treat the watch. But for me, I would like to treat it like tool watch, as in what it's meant to do.
And then you're wearing it really beautifully on your wrist. Tell me about the timepiece you have
Oh,
today.
this is a Patek Philippe, the 5711. I think it's actually a
beautiful.
male's watch. Usually the female version will come smaller and with diamonds, some of them in quartz. So I would prefer to get the men's version. I think it sits well on the female wrist. Although it's big, the lug actually wraps the wrist properly. So although my wrist is small, you can see that the watch actually sits properly. It's not like protruding.
If you allow me to say, and excuse my legs, but you're rocking it.
So then I think This one is very simple. It's just a simple two hands. The Darl is it has got a gradient, but like when you wear it, it's just a simple elegance.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be complicated, but it just looks good.
And then I wonder if we should go on to Deborah's story.
Sure. Yeah, no issue. So I think I've always loved watches, but I've never been a serious watch collector. And I do remember the one watch that I actually have was a watch that I won from a competition. I can't even remember what it was, and I think I submitted my answers, and then one day a parcel arrived at home, and this is when I was teenager. And when I opened it, it was actually a watch that I have won from a competition that I couldn't remember. And it was it's a brand called Smash. It's a bit kind of like a Swatch, and it's already discontinued. The brand no longer exists, but I still remember the joy of opening the parcel and staring at this watch, which is bright yellow and purple. And I actually had it for a long time. I think it's like what Steph say. There's like one of the regret would be because it's a quartz, and once it died, you never think of keeping it as a memento, right? So but that was one incident that I actually do remember from a young age. After that, I actually purchased one watch using my first bonus. And it was a Bulgari watch, and at the time I wasn't as educated about watches, so I bought it as a quartz. Not that quartz is no good, but I think if I would have a choice, I would have picked an automatic instead, because it may actually also last me longer as well. So that was sort of like two that I remember. And I stopped for a long time because then we started having iPhone, and we're so used to looking at our phone for time. Until then, then met Steph, and as Steph mentioned, we started as back friends, and we started with like Hermes, and then we also got into Chanel. And one day, then Steph actually then asked me, she said, you have a lot of you have Hermes handbag, you have Chanel handbags and all that. Are you going to hand over all this to your future daughter-in-law? Because I actually have a boy. Oh. And I was like, I'm not sure. It depends whether she's nice or not. So then she suggested, she said, well, why don't you look into something that you can actually pass on as an heirloom for your son? And watches will be a very good option. And that's when I study more about watches and really look into watches. And the first few years of my collection, I actually acquired the watches with my son in mind first, and thought, okay, this will be suited for him or this will not be suited for him. But at the same time, mommy gets to enjoy it while I'm holding on to the watch for him to pass it on to him. But then I can enjoy wearing it as well during the time, right? Yeah, so I think it's only recent years that I started acquiring watches more for myself as well, and that's sort of like how I started my watch journey.
And then I heard that you have a group of like ladies who join you as like a watch lover.
Yes, so then because we started to, she started to collect watch, then we kind of like are on the same journey together. And we have a lot of our female friends who are actually back friends as well. And they started to kind of take interest in watches, and then they will text us on Instagram and say, what do you think about this watch? And then we say, why don't we come together and set up a platform just for women to learn about watches from each other? Because in Singapore there isn't any platform for female. It's all male dominated. So whatever watch clubs you'll find is either 100% male or 90% male. Yeah, so we want to bring that change. We want to bring the female to come up.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
It's actually the same for Japan.
Mm.
And I think the watches are like mainly made for men, but then they make it smaller for women.
Yes,
But
yeah.
it shouldn't be different, I think.
Yes.
I'm not saying all of them, but like some of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Lately, at least I know in Japan, men's watch is downsizing
Yes.
and it's becoming like dress watches are becoming more popular.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it the same for you too?
Yes, in Singapore it's the same.
Oh, I'm glad to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I think probably, like for example, sometimes when you see some celebrity that is carrying a smaller watches, like male celebrity carrying
Yeah.
smaller watches, I think an example will be like the Cartier vintage mousse, and then you have like Pantier, and also most recently the Bec Noir. And I think it sort of like started changing a bit of the perception that, you know, hey, if you're comfortable rocking the watch, you know, you can look good in anything no matter what the size is, but it's just what you're comfortable with. And I think the watches that will speak of your personality as well, I think that's very important. So
And I just realized I forgot to ask you about
Oh.
what's the beautiful piece on your wrist.
yeah, so this is from a Russian independent watchmaker, Mr. Konstantin Chaikin. It's very special because I think he's very, very creative, and he actually came up with a series called the Rismond. And the first Rismond, he uses the clown as his inspiration. You have like the clown 1, clown 2, and this is actually it's inspired after an English gentleman who is also very big in the clowning industry. During his time, and it's called the Grimaldi. So it's named after him, and even the signature of the clown face is also Grimaldi's signature of a white painted face with a very, very bright red cheek as well. And it was just by chance that I happened to chat with the watch company that represent the watchmaker, and it just so happened as well that one has actually arrived in store. It was just the right time, and I'm asking the right person at the right question that I was being offered to acquire this watch into my collection. So I'm very, very grateful.
So I think people would really love to see the collection of watches that you kindly brought for us. So should I start with you, Stephanie?
Okay, let's talk about this one. This is a very small oval-shaped watch that looks like a mini Baguette, but it's actually not. It's an Inca V. So the thing about it, which I just learned as well, is because it's with a back winder. It's manual winding with a back winder, as compared to the real mini that has got a crown. So the difference is that mine doesn't have a crown, so it doesn't qualify as a Baguette.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is something that I just learned. But when I purchased this watch at first, I bought it with the intention of getting a Baguette. Yeah. But now it turned out to be rarer than a Baguette.
Yeah.
So it's like I think it's just a blessing in disguise.
I think it's a nice
Yeah.
twist. I think it was also recently in a Bonham's auction. I think just recently, like
think
2
last
weeks
week.
ago, they also feature a similar version, and it's confirmed that it's called the Inca V.
Yeah.
And so I was very excited. I say to Steph, "Hey, it's confirmed!" You know, like the family, the Cartier family of it, and not just that as well. It turns out to be even rarer. So I say it's like what a gem that she managed to secure. Yeah.
I have not seen it in person. I've read about it in articles, but I actually didn't like realize it until you told me about the crown.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the other one that I brought for you, this is everybody's dream.
Just
So
look
the
at that.
Cartier Crash, yeah. This one I bought it maybe coming to 2 years ago. Yeah, from a local reseller. You know, when he first posted on his Instagram and I saw it, I think, okay, I'm going to go down and take a look at that watch, and I want to buy that watch because I've been, you know, looking to add a crash into my collection. And I was just an hour late. When I reached, the watch was sold. That was so I told him, I said, you must go and find me another crash, Yeah, which he did. I think like in less than 6 months, he managed to find me one.
Wow.
Yeah, but when he first acquired this watch, he was also reluctant to sell it. Yeah, because it's like so beautiful. Right? I had to tell him, no, this one looks better on a lady's wrist.
I'm sure just happy to be born.
Yeah. So finally, he decided to sell the watch to me. So this will be one piece that I hopefully will pass it down to my daughter. Yeah. So I always joke with that. I say, whichever treats me better, you'll get the credit. Yeah,
I'm
because
sure
they put me in the old folks' home.
And then, shall I move on to you,
Yes,
Deborah?
yes, of course. So what I have here today, and it's coincidentally, is also all Cartier as well, and they are of similar shape. So two of them is of the now very famous oval shape, and the other one is probably a very iconic Cartier, the wine barrel shape called the Tuno. So I'm going to start with the Tuno. So this is a very special watch for me because it is. I was actually offered to do a special order with Cartier.
Oh, wow.
And so what it means by a special order, or they call it an NSO, new special order, is that you actually get to express what you would like to see as a personalized, a customized watch, shape of your choice, and also the type of the indexes, the type of dials, and also the color scheme as well. And then they will then have the artist to draw the vision of a personalized watch for yourself, and that's how you get to sort of like in a way collaborate with Cartier. So the story of this is that because I'm born in the month of July, so ruby is the birthstone of July, so that's why I really wanted a ruby crown. And ruby crown will usually only be on the precious metal of platinum for
That's
Cartier.
right.
And also then I've chosen the signature color of that red as the index, the Roman index. And also what I really love is I always love a eggshell dial, which is what I've actually also chosen, the eggshell dial. And under the light, you can also see that it actually has a sparkly effect as well. So, and obviously it's also the blue heated hand, which is a very famous, iconic Cartier vintage hand design. So that's, I'm very, very happy with the results of how Cartier actually came to having this personalized for me.
Oh, because we talked about Cartier, I'd like to join mine. That's okay. This is the Mustang from the late 1970s, and it's actually a manual model, so it's not a quartz.
Yes.
And then I happened to find it through a friend, but it's a very well preserved one. And what I really love about it is like it has the copper, like pink gold, and white gold, and yellow gold. So whatever the accessory, and whatever the accessory you wear, you can match with
match
it.
it.
So one stone, two birds kind of thing.
It's kind of like the Trinity as well, isn't it? Because I think the Trinity,
Trinity,
also have the tricolors, and
Definitely. So since it's just the ladies in the room today, well, I want to ask you some girl talk questions.
Yep.
And well, since watch has not become a necessity item in these days, because we have smartphones and all digital watches, since it's not an essential, it actually represents the character of the person who's wearing it. So, well, please leave that as it. But like when you meet a gentleman for the first time, especially, do you look at his wrist? Because it has become my habit.
Yes, all the time.
yeah. And I think not only is gentlemen, I probably would think like most of the people, male, female, and I meet them after some conversation, then my eyes will naturally be drawn to the wrist and being very curious, like, I wonder what watch is he or she wearing, right? Because I think it's it's quite interesting to discover how the watch usually represent the person, the personality as well. Yeah.
I respect the high watchmaking and the very expensive models, but I think it's not about the prices. It's just, does it speak about you? Does it match your character? Like, does it have a story behind it?
Yeah.
That's what I kind of want to know.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, at the end of the girl talk, I would like to ask you about, like, as a female watch lover, is there something you'd like to say to the watch industry and the brands?
Okay, for me, recently I had an experience with one of the independent brands where I purchased a watch, and before I make payment for it, they asked me whether I wanted the length of the strap in short, medium or long, which I think is a very big step to being very inclusive, not only to female watch collectors but also male watch collectors with a narrow wrist. So it saves us the trouble of buying a watch that comes in standard length and then we have to go and search for a short strap to match the watch. Yeah. So then I think this watchmaker is actually taking a step ahead of all others, and maybe all other brands should look into this aspect and not just put a one size fit all for everybody.
Yeah. I think that's a big step as well. Thank you for sharing me the story.
I think from my end, the one thing I've actually spoken about this before as well, is that when we come into like a marketing campaigns, it will be really nice to be a little bit more inclusive on how the campaign is being marketed to the audience, because there are some watches. It's actually like what Steph has said. It's genderless, it's non-binary. You can be more inclusive in your marketing campaign that market the watches to all genders. And you don't have to be very specific, like, okay, because this watch is bigger, let's just put all male into the advertisement campaign. And because this one has got lots of like diamonds in them and smaller watches, let's put female faces on them. So there are actually a couple of watch brands that is doing very well. They really market their watches, and some of them are slightly larger in cases as well, to be inclusive of all genders. And also the other thing, I was jokingly saying that, if we have a chance, if watches can speak, maybe they might actually protest and say, please don't classify me as male or female. I'm just a beautiful timepiece that to be enjoyed by everyone. So right.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. And I would like to ask more and more questions, but due to the shortage of the battery of my camera, I think I'll need to wrap it up here. But so, as an epilogue, could you give a short, warm message to the viewers of the Watch Spirits Tokyo?
For all the watch lovers out there, collect what you really like. Don't chase the hype. Don't go after what other people like just because it's popular at that time. Always remember, it's the one that's on your wrist is something that you should treasure, not other people.
And for me as well is that think about the lifestyle, and also think about your watches is there to also mark the special occasions. So when you look at your watch, hopefully it will always bring you certain memories and happy memories, and it is actually there with you to commemorate the occasion.
Thank you so much for meeting me in such short notice. I really hope to see you guys again very soon.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
you.
Bye.
Bye. So from now on, I'll be introducing Mr. Darl from the D Timepieces and Mr. Jacko Henry, the leathercraft artist. They actually run an office together, and it's like a dream place for a watch lover like me, because you can ask Mr. Darl to select some beautiful pieces for you, and then if you like something, you can ask Mr. Jacko Henry to make bespoke straps for you right after. Who would not love that? And they're really friendly, and it was just fun visiting their office. So please meet Mr. Darl and Mr. Jack. So thank you for having me, Jack. I'm really happy to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
And I think I need to introduce you to the viewers of What Spirits Tokyo. So please tell me about yourself a little bit and how you got into the leather world.
So I'm Jack. So basically I've been dabbling in the leather work for almost about 6 years. Yeah, so initially it all started with trying to make a wallet for myself.
Oh.
Because I have issues with bifold when I was younger, so it keeps spoiling. Yeah, so at the age of 20, I've been trying to make a bifold for myself. Yeah, so a lot of my clients thought that I created strap for myself first, but actually no, I actually make bifold. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's not something that many would know. Yeah, so bifold is the one that caught my attention first lah. So I've been making them for quite some time. So it's classic men's bifold.
Yeah, bifold
Something
is
simple.
good.
So that's how I've been engaging with the leather for quite some time.
Can I take a look at
Yeah,
it?
please.
It's, I have to say, like such an entrepreneur thing to to start making your own wallet like from the scratch. What was the hardest thing that you experienced on your way to here?
I would say it's acquiring of materials here in Singapore.
Oh.
Yeah, because in Singapore, it's really difficult to find a leather shop that offers a wide range of leather. So during the early days, I basically have to purchase them online. So it's quite hard. So, but thankfully, there's someone in Singapore actually brought the entire range of leather in the shop. So it's very, very easy to get leather now and then. So it's the hardest hurdle that has been solved.
Good for you, but also for your clients.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell me about other specialties of your items and your straps.
Most of the time, because we do bespoke work, so now and then we will have something special. So we'll do a custom bag or custom watch box, or even sometimes I get orders like custom slippers.
Slippers.
Yeah, slippers.
They're really important, actually.
It is, yeah, to some of my clients out there, it is very important. But then again, they want to instill some of their own style. So they come and find crafter like us to do it for them. Yeah, so time to time I get some weird requests. Yeah, I think that's a specialty. Yeah.
So Jack, I want to know if there's something I should know or prepare before coming in here. Is there something?
Actually, none of my clients actually prepare. Yeah,
Really?
but they actually know what you're gonna get at the end of the day.
Okay.
Because I create the product.
Oh.
So I will listen to their ideas, their view, their creativity, and then from there I will propose to them. So don't really need much. Maybe just bring your watch. Yeah.
So I can say you're like a leather craftsman consultant
Somewhat.
maker.
Yes.
I heard that your office is just at the door.
Correct.
So maybe you could show me your atelier
Sure.
and then maybe show me some of your products.
Sure.
Yeah.
No problem.
All right.
Shall we?
So let's go. Take the mic with me.
Yeah, come in.
Oh, thank you.
So this is the place where I spend most of my time doing leather works and leather repair. So for example, I have a client that dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I dropped
Your
a
bag.
Dior bag for me to repair this morning. So
Oh.
we keep that aside. Yeah,
Oh, you do that as well.
yeah. That's my job.
Oh, right. But when you have trouble, you can bring it to
Yeah.
you or John.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So maybe I will show you how a customer actually custom their straps.
Oh, lovely.
So we start with maybe a brown alligator, for example. Basically, this is an alligator, right? So the scale. So a client that wants a watch strap, right, can use this reverse pattern of cut to actually see how his or her scale is going to be produced. So as a strap maker, I have to craft with the current scale that my client wants. Yeah, so it depends on the watch. If let's say you have a very big watch, the scale have to be big so it relates. And then if you have a small watch like a Cartier Tuno, something small,
Yeah.
then you have to choose something smaller of a scale. So you can see how the scale would play a part in your straps.
Right, right. It's really important. So, well, if the client, him or herself, doesn't know what they actually want, how do you try to figure out like the best materials, or like how do you recommend them things?
So I would actually, like what you say, I would ask how do they use the product. So if they use it in a very rough way, yeah, they like to throw their wallets around, I would recommend them to get alligator wallet lah, because it's very elegant.
Yeah.
So I will opt them something more sturdy, like calf or even goat skin, something that you can throw around.
Like
without
heavy duty.
Yeah, heavy duty, that's the word. Yeah, so it depends. Yeah.
True.
Lifestyles also make me give them a thought that
Yeah.
this is good, this is bad.
I think it's not. It makes it really a shame when like you have a really nice product but it's not taking a good care of.
Correct. I agree in your statement, but at the end of the day, it really boils down how they actually use it.
True. And sometimes like work occasions, like
Correct.
have to have influence.
Yeah,
You also make bags. Do you have any example of bags?
yeah, it's outside there.
You see? So
Wow,
So-
very nice.
So this is a tote bag. When I was younger, when I was in like 22, 23, I went to Korea.
okay.
Yeah, so I saw a lot of boys are using this type of bag.
Like a tote,
Tote,
I would say.
sling, yeah.
Yeah, like a bucket, like
Correct.
slash tote. It's really
Correct,
cool.
correct. You're correct. Yeah. So from there, I told myself once I come back from Korea, I have to design a bag. Yeah, but of course, I didn't design because I didn't have much knowledge. So I asked my mentor to sit down and design this tote bag with me lah. Yeah, so eventually it came out this way.
It's nice.
Yeah, but then again, I realized that this style doesn't really fit in much of Singapore context lah.
Oh.
Because you need to wear nice dress like John and Em. You cannot just wear t-shirts.
Well, I mean, I think it's slightly hot in Singapore compared to Korea.
Yeah,
That's
correct,
why
correct.
I believe.
Correct. Yeah. So I brought that design and then try my own design. Yeah. But then again, I realized it doesn't fit our style of wearing in Singapore. Yeah. So it just.
And I just noticed that the timepiece you have is not a leather strap one. Tell me about your piece.
I love Seiko.
Oh, thank you.
So I've been a collector ever since when I was young. So I've been buying Seiko, selling Seiko, and then from there my love for watches grew, and I bought other brands. But at the end of the day, I still buy Seiko because it's value for money. You cannot go wrong with Seiko.
What year is this from?
So this is a Seiko chrono fly bag. So it's around 1971.
Oh.
So I love this watch because of its gentle blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So talking about the strap early on,
Yes.
I'm a person that has eczema, a condition, so I cannot really wear leather strap because it will give me itch.
Oh,
So
okay.
quite ironic that I do straps, but I couldn't wear leather.
I see.
So yeah, I have to wear bracelet all the time.
Well, I think, maybe you've made it in purpose, but it's matching your shirt today, the dial color. And then,
Yeah, I have to.
that-
Yeah, because you're coming.
Oh, thank you. And the camera's rolling. And yeah. So Jack, thank you for showing me your atelier.
Yes.
I just have one more question lastly. So when you want to order from overseas, how should I proceed? Do you take orders from
Yes,
overseas?
I do take orders from overseas. So most of them would actually come to my Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they will just message me from there lah. Yeah, so I will guide them through.
Oh,
So
okay.
just find me in Instagram will do.
Yeah, Jacko Henry. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, but thanks again.
no problem.
Thank God you're finally here. Thank you for having me today.
Welcome, thanks for coming and featuring us. Yeah.
And so you're Darl.
Yes, I'm Darl.
So nice meeting you. And I must introduce you to the viewers of Watch Spirits Tokyo. So can you introduce yourself a little bit to
Yeah,
the
sure.
camera?
I'm Darl. I run the timepieces in Singapore. So we basically buy and sell watches. I focus more on kind of vintage and interesting watches because a lot of the dealers in Singapore, they kind of sell the same thing, so I try to be a little bit different. And I actually do mostly export, so I sell to US, Japan, and Hong Kong. These are my three kind of bigger markets. Yeah.
It's a good news to know that you ship to Japan as
Yes,
well.
I do ship to
Since
Japan.
I'm from Japan. So we have to go to your Instagram and ask like which ones.
I have a
or how to do
website.
that.
I have a website. But I don't. I mean, you can't order directly. So you can go to Instagram and you can DM me. Otherwise, you can buy through Chrono24.
Oh, okay.
A lot of Japanese clients like to buy through Chrono24.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's efficient.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
yeah.
say. So well, first of all, I think I'd like to ask you a little bit about how you got into the watch world. Have you been a watch lover since little?
Yeah. I mean, I've been collecting. I guess not really collecting, but I bought my first watch maybe when I was 23. So that's about 9-10 years ago.
Yeah.
Before that, actually not really. I wasn't really that into watches, but I was kind of influenced by my friends, and I realized that a lot of them were kind of wearing the same thing and interested in the same brands. So actually, my first modern watch was the Grand Seiko.
Oh.
So most people at that time, they didn't really know much about Grand Seiko, but I kind of looked at things that were beyond kind of the brand name. So like the movement and things like that, and the history behind the brand. So that was actually my first modern watch.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of happy as a Japanese.
Yeah, it's a great brand. Yeah.
I know that we have some watches in front of me, but I think I should ask you about like what's the criteria, or like are there any patents when you acquire your watches?
I guess yes and no. Basically, the watch has to speak to me as I mean, although my taste is not representative of most people, but I generally like to sell what I would wear myself.
Yeah.
Because I think that when you sell something that you feel strongly about, it comes across as more sincere. I think rather than to sell things that people are generally looking for, but I don't really have interest in. So basically, if you look at kind of my site, or if you go to Instagram, usually for all the watches, there's always some sort of story behind it. So the criteria is that it has to be interesting to me. I think that's the most important. So it's more important that I curate my shop in a way that the watches are kind of similar but different in a way. Yeah.
So it's not like one maison or
No.
several maison.
No.
It has to speak to you.
Yeah, it has to suit the kind of aesthetic. So you look at my
Yeah.
Instagram, there's a certain aesthetic, and there are watches that I wouldn't sell. Yeah.
I think the attention has moved on to a little more towards the dress watches lately, at least in Japan.
Yep,
For
yep.
the gentlemen.
Yep.
For like a super big size to like a smaller size.
Yep. I think it's gone towards that. A lot of it, I think, is because of Cartier. I think in maybe just like 6-7 years ago, you would see guys who would consider Cartier as too small. Like even the tanks are too small for them. But now you can see like guys, wearing smaller sizes, and also females, they have kind of sized up. So I don't really see many female collectors wearing like 28 round watches anymore, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them wear kind of, even if they buy a Rolex, they just want men's size, so like 36.
Yeah.
So I think the taste has evolved, as it probably will over the next however many years. It's always the case, right? Taste will evolve and change. Big watches will come back. Last time it was Panerai. Panerai was the in and it was huge, right?
It was.
So now Cartier is like, small, and sometimes guys can think that they're a bit dainty, so like feminine. But you see people wearing guys wearing Cartier all the time. So it's a phase, I think. It will come and go. Yeah.
So I think I should go back and Jack again, and ask you too about how you steer that business. So,
sure.
Let's just stop the camera right. So before I ask you to tell me about your beautiful products, I think I need to ask about how you two guys become business partners. Were you guys like friends beforehand, or how did you two meet?
Kind of.
We met because we have common clients.
Oh, okay.
We actually have one friend that used to buy watches and straps,
Oh.
and he's a very big I guess strap collector. Yeah. So he has a very strong idea of what straps he wants, and he found Jack. This was 2020, I think 2020 when you first met.
I would say it's 2021. He came to me and asked me for a different style of strap. And he asked me whether can I do it, so I can. And apparently it's he goes to Darl and purchase some of the watches. That's how we have a common client.
Yeah, that was our first common client, and then we had subsequently more. So we have a few common clients back then when we were in separate spaces.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we always talked about kind of coming together, right? It's also good for like cost, right? You can get a bigger space, you can share the cost. But I think more importantly is kind of we have a lot of synergy. So basically almost all of my clients now are his clients. Yeah.
So yeah, finally I think, could you recommend, I sent you a request in advance that if you could show me some of the watches you think that would look good on me.
Yeah.
So can we move on to that?
Yeah, sure. So basically, ladies, I guess because you are a lady, I brought out slightly smaller watches. Of course, you know, there are also big ones that I have, but I would say that at least something that's more interesting, you can consider this. So this is a
That is so beautiful.
This is a Piaget in white gold with a lapis style. It's a vintage watch show around, I would say, 50 years old, possibly
50
more.
years old.
Yeah, possibly more.
Wow.
So it has a stone lapis style, and also the case is in white gold. So Piaget made a lot of these in the 60s in a lot of variations. And these were quite cheap just maybe last year, but people started to collect them, and because like the stone dials are less common, and also a lot of them have kind of cracks. So for a stone dial to have a crack, it's not ideal, right? It's not ideal, but I think the misconception, a lot of people think that they crack over time, which they do, but a bigger percentage of reason why there's a crack is because of kind of careless handling. So if you were to send it into a watchmaker, for example, and he doesn't handle it properly, he will end up cracking the dial. So it's not so much because of time. Yeah.
Really? That's an important thing I learned
Yeah,
today.
it is.
What's next?
So I have Cartier. I think this one would be quite nice on you as well because it's a good size. This is actually quite interesting because it's a 90s Cartier. I think a lot of people now know that Cartier is kind of famous for the collection privé, private collection.
Yeah.
So CPCP, Cartier.
CPCP.
Yeah, everyone talks about CPCP, right? This is actually before the CPCP. So it's actually, I've seen this less than the CPCP.
It's even more rare.
I don't know for sure because there's no actual archives for Cartier, so you don't
Right.
actually know how many was made, right?
True.
You know that like certain editions 365, certain editions maybe 99, right? But for this one you don't really know. But I've seen this less than the CPCP one for sale. Whether it's because CPCP is hot and more people sell theirs, that could be because of that. But I've seen this maybe less than maybe 4 times in 3 years. But CPCP I've seen easily probably 20, 30 pieces for sale. So this is slightly smaller.
Yeah. That's such a great piece.
Yeah, so this I think kind of built the CPCP collection because this Basculan it's very similar to CPCP, just that it's not signed Paris, right? So it's not actual CPCP Cartier, but it has the guilloche dial. Yeah, I would say so. It's a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
So I think it's
preference,
actually
but,
it's actually better for your wrist.
So yeah, let's just go through the watches. I really like this one too. I'm getting indecisive already.
Okay, maybe one more. I have a Cartier here, but maybe I'll show you a Rolex. Just for kind of variety. Yeah, variety. So basically, this is also Rolex with a stone dial. This is the Onyx dial. Yeah.
In a very extremely good condition, isn't it?
Yeah, the condition of it has been quite well preserved. This is I believe 1989 watch, if I don't remember wrongly. So it's about 30 years old. So basically, this is a 5-digit Rolex Day-Date 18239. It's kind of the last vintage. It's not really vintage, but it's kind of the last series of the vintage Day-Dates because now all Day-Dates are 6 digits. So they change the case, they change quite a few things.
Yeah.
So this is basically it's kind of vintage, but it has modern kind of like conveniences.
Yeah.
So like double quick set, so you can set the day and the date independently. Previously you couldn't, so you had to kind of cycle, right? So if you are on like your day is the 1st and today is the 20th, you will have to cycle through 24-hour cycles to get the 20th, and that's quite inconvenient.
It takes time.
It takes a lot of time. So most people who wear 1803s, they don't bother. They'll just set the time and just go on with their day.
Forget the date.
Yeah, because it's too much work, right? Unless you wear it every
Yeah,
day.
I mean, true. Yeah, but this is a beautiful, like, timeless design. Like, we'll appreciate it, I think.
Yeah, and it's the best size, I think. Like Rolex has a 40mm day, but it just seems like it doesn't seem correct. Yeah, this is, I think, the best and the only size that day should be, which is 36.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have so many good treasures.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more on the safe, but
I
think
know, back there.
Yeah, we bought like kind of 3. I selected 3 for you. So I think these show some variety as well. And it kind of represents what I sell. So if you are into like these kind of watches, then you can look on my Instagram, I guess.
Thank you so much. I shouldn't keep my video too long, so keep it like this. But before I end, I'd like to ask you to give a warm, short message to our viewers and the watch lovers over worldwide.
What I can say is, you have a good watch. Ideally, you would like to have a good strap to come with, because a good strap will actually hold the entire watch together as one. So ideally, get yourself a good made strap, a well-made strap.
So yeah, but if you wanna order, you can go to Jack's Instagram and then send messages. And if he's not too busy, and things can be,
quite hectic here, yeah.
Yes. So thank you. And how about you, Darl?
Yeah, I think a lot of people who ask me this question, what should I buy for my first watch? What should I buy for maybe my wife and things like that? I think the most important thing is know who you are buying from. I think that's very important. Buy condition. Condition is, to me, more important than rarity, more important than kind of box and papers and stuff, right? Buy condition, and thirdly, just buy what you like. Don't think about kind of buying for speculation or investment.
Yeah.
If you really like it and you wear it and you make money, it's a bonus. But if you buy for speculation and the price doesn't go up, you will really start to hate the watch. So I
like
wouldn't.
you're resented, right?
Yeah. This is, luxury, right? So really just buy what you like and what you can afford.
Yeah, sure. And then you'll love a watch.
Yeah. You really
That's
enjoy
a
it.
good advice, and I'll keep that I'll keep that here too. Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I think we should finally wave. So thank you
Thank
for
you.
watching.